You know what I want to do? You know what I think would be funny? I want to watch this with you guys. I want the whole thing with Ghostbusters. That little thing that came out today is awesome, and I love it. And I saw some people talking some trash about it, which I didn't quite understand, to be honest with you. I saw some people talking some shit, and they're just like, "Oh fuck, Ghostbusters went woke, or it's all terrible." I don't get that personally. This is funny, right? The mini puffs. Check it. If you haven't seen this, watch it.
Jamocha. Strawberry, red velvet, blue velvet.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. That looks amazing. That looks freaking amazing. I can't wait to see it. I really love the fact. Okay, see RJ here. All right, real quick, Eddie, I agree with you. I can't wait to see this damn movie either. I know. It says RJ here says I saw a lot of people complaining, saying they are doing this to capitalize on the Baby Yoda marketing gimmick. This movie was shot back in 2019, before Mandalorian came out. For one, two, if anything, it's reminiscent of Gremlins, which would be more in line with its origins because of the 1980s. Also, I got a little bit of the Army of Darkness, little mini Ash vibe there as well. And I just love the fact that like they're roasting themselves over this flame, and like the one is trying to pull himself, like to pull the skewer through him, while the other ones are using a little lighter to melt it and make s'mores. It's diabolically vicious. And it's so in line with the idea of Ghostbusters, right? That little clip right there, better than 2016, the entirety of 2016. All 2 hours of that crap ass movie, that 54-second clip is better than. I cannot wait to see this. I think it's going to be probably one of the better films of the year. This is the movie that like this will get butts back in the seats. I know people are going to go to Godzilla and they're going to be like, "Oh, Godzilla. Yay." But man, fucking Ghostbusters is the shit. Yeah. Ryan here says, marshmallows are going to fly off the shelves once this movie comes out, dude. 100% it's going to happen. It's also the Krampus mimic scene for those mini marshmallows. Yeah, that too. I mean, and Michael Dougherty makes some good movies, man. But also, did you guys notice like the music was the same music from the intro, the library scene in the opening of Ghostbusters, the original? So, like, I mean, it's harkening back, dog. It's harkening back on that shit. I am so fucking excited for that goddamn thing. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Let's see here. RJ says, to blue check marks, they have to hate on this movie because his 16 means the toxic fans won. Yeah, like the toxic fans didn't win. No one just went to go fucking see it. Astro, did they move Ghostbusters to next year? No, what did they? No, it's according to this, it's 2021. Or did it get moved? Son of a bitch. I hope it didn't get moved. Like fucking I am no, if that's the case. Let me take a quick look here. Let's see, Tech Radar. All right, I'm just looking through. I know the Uncharted movie got moved to 2022. Ghostbusters is currently planned for November of this year. So it did not. Okay, cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. November is a long ways away. But it's already fucking April, which means it's only 7 months. So it's really not that big of a deal. We're going to start getting the marketing here pretty soon. I can't wait, dude. Another Ghostbusters movie. That's going to be sick. I cannot fucking wait to dive into it. I'm going to like rewatch the movies, not 2016. I'm going to get I haven't got the remastered video game yet. I need to get the remastered video game because I've never played it. I know. I've never played it. It came out at a time back in '09 when I just didn't get it at the time. I was, I was getting ready to like move to LA, so I just wasn't really buying anything new at the time. And then, they did remaster it. I need to go pick that one up and play through that because I think it's going to tie into this one. So if my theory is correct, because I have a theory on this one, if my theory is correct, what we're going to see is we're going to see Ghostbusters Afterlife tie into Ghostbusters 1, 2, and the video game, because the video game is all about Ivor Shandor, right? Ivar Shandor. Because in that trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife, we saw the Shandor mine. Ivar Shandor also is the architect of Dana Barrett's apartment building in the original Ghostbusters. And his cult was the protagonist or was the antagonist of the video game, which is the reason why they were the ones who put the slime underneath New York City in Ghostbusters 2. And they were using it as a way, if I recall, I never played it, but I read the story, to open the portal to bring Ivar Shandor back to life. And so, like, I have a feeling it's all going to tie back into Ivar Shandor, and that's going to be that whole story. And I think they're going to tie it into the game, and they're going to tie it into number 2, and everything else. So, I mean, like, there's deep lore with Ghostbusters that is going to be fucking amazing. So, yes, I'm hoping Rick Moranis and William Atherton will both be coming on in, especially William Atherton. He's alive. It needs to happen. Let's see here. You Do Suck says, let's be honest, you can skip Ghostbusters 2. Fuck you. No, you can't, man. If anything, that Bobby Brown song at the end is dope. And also, look, Statue of Liberty covered in positive goo, walking its way through New York City, blasting like, blasting that song like, lift me up, keep on lifting. I'm going higher and higher. Yeah, like, nah, fuck that shit. I love Ghostbusters 2. I love Ghostbusters 2. H. Bart's here says, I want a movie called The Charbo. It's like the Batman, but with you instead. What would happen? Would it just be like me watching YouTube videos and like snarkily commenting on stuff and then like masturbating? Because that would basically be my life. But I could fight crime in there too, in between the masturbating. Let's be fair. All right. Another one here, another $5. Thank you so much, dude. It says, I was 9 when that game came out. It got me to watch the films. I mean, like, dude, okay, that's good, man. Like, I remember, because I was born in 82. And so I remember my mom renting me Ghostbusters as a kid, and like loving Ghostbusters. And then I remember distinctly 1989, I was 7 years old. I was at my grandparents' house. They were watching me for the afternoon. My mom was at work. My mom pulls into I remember this. She pulls into the driveway. I was outside playing with something. And she's like, all right, Matt, get in the car. And I'm like, where are we going to go? And she's like, we're going to go see a movie. And I'm like, oh, okay. What are we going to go see? She's like, Ghostbusters. I'm like, yeah, no, I have Ghostbusters. She's like, no, Ghostbusters 2. I, at the age of 7, did not know Ghostbusters 2 was coming out. My mom surprised me with a trip to the theater to go and see it that afternoon. And I just remember like loving Ghostbusters 2. Here it is, 30 some odd years later. I don't give a shit. I love Ghostbusters 2. Okay. Like, yeah. Is it as good as the first movie? No, of course not. Is anything as good as the first movie? Probably not. It's one of the greatest films ever made. But Ghostbusters 2 is still a good movie. And 2016 proved that. That was my argument back during 2016, was it finally proved that Ghostbusters 2 was a good movie. I love it. I love it. I'm just saying, man, like I'm a big Ghostbusters fan, and I can't wait to see. And I know I say that and I say I haven't played the game, but I loved it. Loved it. Okay, Rick Moranis had to choose between Sony and Disney. He went the route with Honey, I Shrunk the reboot with Josh Gad as his grown-up son. Well, he doesn't have if he's doing a cameo. If he's doing a cameo, they could shoot it now. The movie doesn't come out until fucking November, dude. They can literally shoot a cameo anywhere. Let's see here. Rick felt more of an attachment with Disney when he came out of retirement. I mean, I get that. I do get that. And I understand that. And I do like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise. But seeing Louis Tully one more time would be just awesome. Like him trying to be an accountant, him trying, like he's still working at it. He's still doing his thing. But you know what I would love? I would love it if Louis Tully, hooked up with Janine, because at the end of Ghostbusters 2, they were hooking up, and I would love to see their relationship grow. I would love to see the Annie Potts is Annie Potts. I'm just saying, like, Annie Potts is Annie Potts. You know what I mean? Like, she still got it, dude. I'll tune into young Sheldon every once in a while, and I'm like, damn, she still got it. I love Annie Potts. I've always had a crush on Annie Potts. And you know what? I got my gilf fetish. What can I say? And but I would love to see them back together. I want the whole gang. I understand if Rick doesn't want to do it. I get it. But come on. Don't you want the whole gang back together? Don't you want everyone back together? I mean, if anything, like, I know Harold Ramis can't be there, and that is going to be the hardest thing about watching this movie. The hardest part about this movie is going to be that Harold Ramis isn't there. And that's going to, I know I'm going to tear up. I know it. No Egon. I mean, that's a big fucking deal, and that's the hardest part about it, is that no Egon, but we're still getting it. It's still, like, the trailer was good. That clip was amazing. The vibe is there. And that's what I can't wait to dive the fuck back into, is that vibe was there. And it's going to be so cool to watch with my kids. Anyway, H-Bart's here, another $5. Thank you very much. Says, how much screen time do you think the original cast is in it? Or is it a Mark Hamill Force Awakens thing? I think it's pretty significant, because for one, Jason Reitman, not Ivan. Well, Ivan, okay. Think of it like this. Ghostbusters 2016, they were all cameos, right? They were just cameos. I mean, Bill Murray effectively was playing William Atherton's character. He was playing Walter Peck. If you go back and you watch that scene with him in it again, he has a lot of the same mannerisms as Walter Peck. And I mean, there was like almost no greater asshole kind of pseudo villain in the 80s than William Atherton. So there's that. But anyway, I think Ivan Reitman looked at the fan response and was like, wait, fans want a continuation. So, okay. But obviously there are fans who did like 2016. And my theory, and this is a working theory, but my theory is that the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife will find a way to connect it to Ghostbusters 2016 by going into some kind of interdimensional portal. I know that sounds dumb, but there is money on the table by not going back down the 2016 pathway. There is a fan base there. And if they find a way to mix it up and they make it better, then cool. But there's a fan base for 2016. It still did pull in close to 400 million worldwide. So I know you don't want to believe that, but there are Holtzman fans is really what it boils down to. Now, the thing is that I lost my train of thought. What the fuck was the question there? Right. The cast. The cast has got to be in it. They won't be in it much. I guarantee you they'll be in there for the finale. They'll be in there for the finale. Like, I think they're going to show up. Now, it's possible they could kill off Venkman or Spangler, or Ray, or Winston. They could kill off one of the characters. I hope not. I don't want any of those people to die. But I think it's going to be like an extended cameo. Like, a couple times they're going to pop up, but they're definitely going to be in the finale. That just seems to be the best thing. All right. Real quick. Okay. Get the Ryan here. First watched Ghostbusters when I was a kid. Thank you very much, Ryan, by the way. At a Halloween pool party while bobbing for apples. It was quite the experience. Oh yeah, dude. That's great. I think we rented it and I watched it with my mom. I remember we saw Beetlejuice a couple times in theaters, but I was 2 years old when Ghostbusters came out in theaters, but I did a couple years ago, when they did the 30th anniversary of it in 2014, I took my younger brother to go see it. He had seen it, but like never on the big screen. And I'd never seen it on the big screen. And they were doing like that week long, 30th anniversary. So I took him to go see it on the big screen. And that movie, it holds up so insanely hard. It's such a good film. All right. Let's see here. The Bill Murray cameo in Ghostbusters 2016 was disrespectful. Oh yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. Jess here says, all we loved from 2016 was the re-release of the Ecto Cooler. Yeah, that was about it. Okay, so You Do Suck here says, I thought 2016 was all right. The big problem was not tying it to the other films. That was a big problem of it. But here's my take on it as to why the biggest sin that it committed. because I did rag on that movie quite a bit before going to go see it. And the reason why I did was because things kept happening. It wasn't just like, a little thing here, a little thing there. I still went in and I was hoping that it didn't suck and I was hoping to like it. The biggest sin that movie created, that it committed, was that the original was it was a straightforward movie, right? It was a working man's comedy where the characters believed the world they lived in. The characters acted like it was a blue collar movie. Ray takes out a second mortgage on his parents' house in order to be able to afford the fire station in order to start the business. They're failed college professors. They lose their grant money. They are trying to be working class people in the 1980s. It's a very pro-capitalist movie. It's very reminiscent of the times, but it's also relatable because a lot of people can respond to that. So it treated it as being serious, and the jokes came from the reactions to the actors and the characters living in that world and believing the world around them. The problem with 2016 was that Paul Feig approached it like it was an improv comedy. There is literally a scene in the movie where you got like Kristen Wiig at a table, and Holtzman is trying to get her attention because she's trying to flirt, and you can tell they just put the camera on a tripod and they pointed it and they hit action and they said action and then told Kate McKinnon to just go. And she just did all of this stuff, all of these, little improv bits and then they cobbled it together. There's no understanding of why the villain is trying to be the villain, of why Neil is trying to be the bad guy in the movie. It just made no sense. There was no character development on the bad guy. Now, granted, in the first movie, there wasn't that much character development on Gozer, like about Gozer being was an ancient Sumerian god. And then you got the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper. It was a little bit of lore. They explained it a little bit, but it was enough to be believable. Here, he just looks in the mirror and he goes like, "You insulted me or made fun of me. Now I will rule over you." And it's the stupidest shit. It's just so stupid. And then what? At the end, they shoot him in the crotch with the proton pack. That was the big joke, as they kick him in the nuts. I mean, to be fair, there hasn't really been that funny of a fucking nut kick joke since Monster Squad's kick him in the nards. So it doesn't make any sense when you think about how they shot the original. They treated it like it was a real threat. They treated it like it was a real movie. This one, they treated it like it was just something that they did on the weekend with their friends, like my movie In Search Of, which again, we shot on a week, I think on a Tuesday or a Monday or a Tuesday, for like a day. And that was it. That's the problem with that movie. It didn't need to be what it was. It could have been so much better if they would have taken it seriously, and they never did. Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, and Ghostbusters Afterlife take it seriously. And that is treating the franchise with respect. That is treating the fans with respect. That's what it boils down to. And so, like, again, I fucking love Ghostbusters. So it is one of those things where it's like, I hate the fact that I don't like Ghostbusters 2016. You have to understand that. I don't like not liking a movie. That is a personal thing, really. It's like The Last Jedi. I didn't care for it. I don't like the fact that I don't like The Last Jedi. It bothers me to the core of my being that I don't like Ghostbusters 2016. But it's not me that's the problem. And I can acknowledge that based upon looking at everything that they've done, calling all the fans toxic, the head of the studio calling fans toxic, the director, the cast doing it years later. It's all ridiculous nonsense. It's all terrible nonsense. And they damaged the brand. And that is something that they have to fucking deal with. And now we're getting a new one. And hopefully that kicks off a whole new series of films that treats it with respect. And I think fans will really respond to that, because all fans want is a good Ghostbusters movie. Like, that's it. They just want the heart. They want the group. They want, you can pass the torch, but you got to fucking show them passing the goddamn torch. I don't know. Jose, this is a bad take. Take that. Nope, it's bad. Ghostbusters 2 is not a dumpster fire.